One of the common ways that many people are taught to deal with round kicks is checking them. But I see many people also doing a cross check, and I want to talk to you about why you need to stop that. First thing I'm going to say is I want to be very upfront. I do not like telling other people that you are doing things 100% wrong if they're working for you. If they're working time and time again, you're finding that, okay, I can cross-check and this is something that I'm having a lot of success with, then of course, continue with it. But I want to point out some of the areas that I see problematic. And that's what we're generally trying to do. We're trying to figure out what is going to work for 99% of the people, and we're going to teach that the other 1%, they'll figure out their own thing. So in general, what happens when we're standing here and we see a round kick come and we frame up that elbow and that knee and we create a solid surface to stop somebody from kicking us? We're on one leg, we're very balanced, we're taking the impact, we're dropping, and we're generally firing back. That's a very common Muay Thai thing to do. One of my big problems with cross-checking is I'm going, how am I going to at the same time get back down and fire out? Because it's going to be naturally slower. It's naturally slower because this one only has to come up. This one has to come up and across. And then the return time to get back here is almost like I'm going the wrong direction before I can fire back. Whereas on the regular check, my chest stays square, but on this one, I'm gonna have to turn a little bit more. That's the very first thing where I go, I'm not a big fan of doing that. And I will, of course, at the end of this episode, or as we start to get further on, I'll explain to you a good alternative. If you're somebody who really likes to check, but is saying, oh, okay, you know, I'm really good at checking off this leg, but what do I do on this side? Because I'm doing that because I'm light here, but switching legs is very hard. It's very hard to be here and go, oh, okay, there. Yeah, it's difficult, but I have a solution for you. Don't worry about it, okay? The next problem that I have with this is we're very compromised from this side of our body. When we do our regular check, we have a block here, we have another hand here which can do some blocking, we're stationary, we're solid. There's no massive point where we're super vulnerable. But as soon as I come across, there's this whole area down here which I cannot address. And because of that, it puts us in the worst possible position to get swept. And that, of course, is going to be something I'm going to be covering in my sweeps and throws course, which is coming up. If you guys haven't already got that early bird pricing, make sure you jump on it now. It's about to expire. When somebody comes this direction, all of a sudden, all you have to do as the kicker is you just go, okay, I'm going to fake that left round kick so that they go across, I fake it, and then I come in and I bury myself deep and I just toss them down. But we'll have a very comprehensive breakdown of how to do that in the course when I have a partner to work with. But in general, you do have to remember that coming across this direction leaves you in a very vulnerable position, which means you can get swept quite easy. Now, of course, I will be the first to acknowledge that there are times when a cross check is not gonna be the worst thing in the world. Like if I just threw my own round kick and the guy fades away and I'm here and he's coming back with his own round kick, then boom, yeah, sure, throw up a cross check. But if you're in a situation where you're going, oh, okay, I have a nice proper stance, I'm ready to go. And as I already mentioned, if we're really good on checking on one side, but we're going, it's very difficult to get the check off the other leg, we want to have an alternative. So the way that I was taught, which to me makes a lot of sense, when we're thinking about checking, is get heavy on one of the two legs. The leg that's heavy is not going to be our checking leg. This will be my checking leg. If I decide I'm going to go heavy on my front foot for some reason, maybe I'm really good at the right round kicks and I want to be ready to kick fast, this is going to be my checking leg. Or if I go the opposite, I do more standard, where my front foot is tapping, this is my checking leg. But how do I address all the kicks that come on this side? If Gabriel is telling me not to cross check, this becomes the catching side. On this side I'm catching, or I'm evading, and on this side I'm checking. And then all of a sudden I have a very, very strong defense for round kicks that come on any side. ready to check, boom, ready to catch, ready to fade. They come back again, I'm checking. That is a great way to deal with this overall scenario and to eliminate the cross check, which just, in my mind, is probably one of the weakest blocks and puts you in a bad position for throwing any great counters back at your opponent. And that's the big thing. When we do these checks, we want to be coming back with a counter, because in Muay Thai, it's about who finishes the exchange. So if all of a sudden somebody comes towards me and I go cross check, but I don't follow up, essentially they've won. If you're doing Muay Thai scoring in Thailand, it's not the same in North America so much, but I like the idea more of being here so I can fire back really fast, and then catching so I can throw them down, dump them to the floor. To me, this all makes so much more sense. So if you're asking for my opinion, and hopefully you are since you're here, a lot of people say, it's like, Gabriel, you're my second coach. Got my guy at the gym, and then I got you. I'm saying stop that cross-checking. The only time that I will say a cross-check is a viable block, a good block, is when we're thinking about low kicks. A low kick comes, I check to the outside. An inside low comes, and I can come across that way. But I don't have to compromise my upper body too much for that. It's just me doing this small motion. There's nothing too different about it. Whereas on this one, it's quite different. And it's a little bit more difficult to get those counters off. My opinion, guys, take it or leave it. Be sure to get registered for the Strike Ready Sweeps and Throws course, which is coming up. So excited about that. And I will see you guys back here soon for another video.